Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have quite a few different things to go and talk about when it comes to a lot of things. We actually have a really kind of cool pickup, a lot of really cool games on the way, and also kind of a really big PlayStation 5 somewhat disaster where they kind of went and dropped the ball. So we have a lot of different cool stories to go talk about all throughout this video, so if you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy. And as well as this kind of dive into more so of some of the future, actually there's some current drama right now, but I think in the future too as well, some kind of good news and kind of fun things. So we'll have a little bit of bad news, a little bit of good news, I think everything all in between. So we'll talk about that as well. If any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc, digital, Xbox, all the signups for it, Twitter and Twitch stream down below, Target links down below, everything else as well, all down below. Let's go and talk about it. So, very first and foremost, I do want to go talk a little bit more about some kind of rough news. So as you guys may or may not have had a chance to go and see, we actually have been seeing a little bit more of, well, this type of stuff. So for this, we've now been seeing things such as basically Sony pulling a lot of these games. This also regards to PlayStation Plus listings and everything else too as well. So as you guys probably may or may not know, when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Plus, if you guys go pay the extra little bit of money, you actually have a chance to have a lot more various options for the games you play, and everything else. Some of them are streamable. Some of them are downloadable, some of them are forced to be downloadable, and a lot of these games have kind of been somewhat region dependent on licensing rights, production, just everything. Everything all put together, everything. So when it comes to this, we have now kind of seen our very first kind of bad news when it comes to Sony, where now they're actually forced to now pull various games that they have to get rid of them, even if you're paying the money, and you were able to, I think, play them for a little bit, I believe, or at least like we were teased for it, and well, now they're gone. So let's talk about this first, we'll talk about the news in a second. So basically, Sony pulls Dino Crisis and Ridge Racer 2 from PlayStation Plus listings. They were actually briefly listed as coming to PlayStation Plus Premium in July, as was Soul Calibur Broken Destiny. So upcoming classic titles set to be made available to PlayStation Plus members will seemingly include Ridge Racer 2, Dino Crisis, and Soul Calibur Broken Destiny. So basically for this one, it's kind of cool, kind of nice. Bad news because they're getting pulled. Bad news because drama, because that actually may also lead into other stuff. At the same time, I'm actually not fully sure if that means it's going to be bad forever, or just bad right now, or maybe a bad pre-teaser, or maybe just bad for the region. But it also might be good. So usually bad kind of gets the title click a bit more, and it does maybe allude towards bad, because why would they pull it? I mean, sometimes they leak it a little bit early too as well, but we'll see. We'll see throughout the next weeks. But on Wednesday, the games were briefly listed as coming to PlayStation Plus Premium in the Italian language version of an announcement confirming July's addition to the service. In a PlayStation blog post earlier in today, Sony announced the first wave of new games coming to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers, which if you guys actually want to have that as a video, leave me in the comment section down below. I actually wouldn't mind diving into that. So from July 19th, PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium members will be able to play Stray, Final Fantasy Remake, and we'll talk about that in a second, Marvel's Avengers, and 5 Assassin's Creed games and 2 Saints Row titles, which, I'm going to be honest, that's a pretty big move. I think that's a nice listing of games, nice listing of potential games, and at the end of the day, I think it's overall big thumbs up. Like, I like the idea of us having a chance to literally play more games. I think that's just very, very nice and very, very good. So, big thumbs up with that, big vibes with that, and I do like it. So, PlayStation Plus Premium members will also gain access to more classic games on here. So although we're not fully sure if this is like just a leak being removed, or bad news, or whatever, or it might just be good and just preemptive leak, we do sometimes see that, they do also already have the No Heroes Allowed on the PSP, and Loco Roco Midnight Carnival, both from the PSP. Although, side note, I'm always kind of curious to know how many folks even do utilize that, how many folks actually do even look at that, and how many people actually play the old PSP games, PS1 games, etc. If you guys have, leave a comment down below. So now this is actually the new, now removed listings for Ridge Racer 2 and Dino as well, and Soul Calibur. So they had the PlayStation blog, they had the sets too, this is all, like, as you guys can tell from originally, it was Italian, and here's the set. Dino Crisis, Ridge Racer, people I think actually both love both these games, funny enough, and Soul Calibur, all three. And they also just had a chance to remove these two. So it could be good, could be bad. I'm almost leaning towards slightly on the bad side, mainly because if it was already there, already updated, there's probably a reason why they removed it. There's probably a reason why they don't have it. There's probably a reason why they're not vibing it. And that does make me a little bit more on the sadder side just for everything, because maybe they're just gone forever. Maybe there's like a legal issue. Maybe it was meant to happen and just didn't. And also maybe just will be for next, maybe for next month. So glass as half empty. Maybe they're gone forever. glass half full, maybe just for preemptive leak, maybe for next month, we can kind of go from there. But it's also going to seem like this is one of the more bigger months too, where I've not really seen this many games. Like, I feel like we've had a very, very light around mention of games. So basically, there's no mention of the additional classic games above in the Italian language version, as you guys can see there. So maybe it's regional, maybe it's licensing based, whatever it might be, but it does seem kind of rough too as well. VGG actually reached out to see it, but they actually did not, which all community branch confirmed the leaks to an additional additions to PlayStation Plus Premium 2 as well. And that dives into the actual PlayStation blog right here. As we mentioned, they actually did have a pretty big, I would say this is big. It's bad because we lost some of the listings, but I'd say big. So first of all, I want to play Stray really bad. I'm not sure if I have a PS5 in-house over here in Dallas. I'll have to see. But basically, Final Fantasy, huge game for PlayStation Plus. Some of these are also for premium and extra only, but it kind of adds extra incentivization. It is a brand new feature. It makes sense. Avengers, that's a really good game. Still, I would say pretty AAA and relatively new. Saints Row, very good game. Still, fun game. All the Assassin's Creed games, although they are available on the Ubisoft, U Plus, and all that type of stuff, dynamic, at least it does add a little bit more extra options with it. And Final Fantasy, absolutely. With all the recent news when it comes to that for Final Fantasy VII, the remake itself, like Part 2 remake, and Stray. I think Stray is everything is huge. Like, I love the fact that Stray is a day one release. I love the fact you can basically get it for cheaper, and I just can't wait to play that game myself. But, as you guys can tell from the official press release, as we were covering, some of these leaks were removed, and I'm not sure if that's good or bad or whatever, but this is a huge list upcoming for July 19th for all of this. So as well, some little quick news too. This is, I think, kind of the big news for the video. Bungie. Kind of cool. So as you guys know, the FPS side, both for this and Call of Duty, we'll cover that in a second, Bungie may be hiring for a competitive Destiny game, which I think is very nice to see. So as you guys know, Bungie has confirmed on multiple different times that they do want to go and have, well, first and foremost, more games in the lore, more development. And as well, if you guys are familiar with Destiny PvP, it's a little bit always on the edge. No one always fully knows if it's good, bad, or ugly. And on top of that, too, like Trials has been issues. They're always trying their best to figure out how many folks they actually have it played, how to keep it a viable playlist. PvP is a mess. Everyone loves the PvE when the updates are there, but you have to go from there. But it looks like Destiny's, then the ex-Halo developer, is working on an exciting new title that seems to be in a competitive Destiny game, according to a job listing posted recently. The job ever in question is for a senior concept artist, which went live on the company's career website. So this is all brand new leaks on the website itself. It says the candidate will work on a wide range of game elements like guns, characters, armors, vehicles, environments, and other seasonal art needs. This one also states that the candidate will continually push aesthetics of the Destiny universe, which implies that this new title is part of the Bungie's Destiny franchise. Another thing to note here is that the nice to have section. It says experience with and love of competitive games, suggesting that this title would have some kind of competitive elements with it. As I mentioned too before, Bungie kind of needs that. I would almost want to say Halo needs that. At this point, I would love if Bungie in their head was like, well, we're just going to go and take over Halo. We're just going to make sure this game is like the format, of Halo. Obviously, they can't legally. But they made Destiny, and Destiny has some of the funnest gunplay, characters, animations, models, and stuff out there. I love the aesthetic. I love the vibe of it. So for me, I like the fact that they're kind of taking the realm, and they're wanting to make sure it's all good. So the note over here is that it's nice to have section, and says, you can see all the competitive stuff. And I do think we need more competitive games. There's also apparently a new third-person action game in the works at Bungie, which would also be very nice and probably tied into with Sony and what Sony wants to do in the near future for everything. Like, we do know that Jim Ryan wants to push more live-at-service games, more PvP-type games, and this would probably fit the bill perfectly. So it's clear that Bungie has several new projects in development right now. One being its next big IP, Matter, scheduled for 2025. Very excited for that, and as well mobile FPS 2 as well. Not as so excited for that. But we do love seeing more of these proper games and big boys being announced. And also, lastly but not least, also, I've had a chance to go and see some more Treyarch news and Call of Duty news, where former Treyarch developer Tony Flame actually joins Deviation Games too, and it's all kind of tied into a little bit more as well when it comes to, well, I don't know, it's a lot of cool stuff too in general. So this is more Call of Duty stuff, and it's always kind of nice to see where you have someone with a really big game design, game background, everything else, tied in and also working with other game designers and trying to check out 2 other different games, which might be really good for both PS5 or Xbox games, depending on what they want to work in and go from there. So, I like it. I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see more experiences, too, as well, for game people in the whole. Kind of showcasing up games, having a chance to talk about games, having a chance to develop games, having a chance to work more hands-on with games. All that stuff, to me, I think is very neat and very nifty. So, kind of give me your thoughts and comments all throughout this video as well. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller. Got the Twitter and Twitch room down below. Weeble Coinbase down below. Everything else all down below. I'll have a few more videos all throughout the rest of today, so be on the lookout for that. I love you guys all, and I appreciate you guys all so much for even watching in the first place.